him.
Okay, let me try.
It's probably the bottommost.
I don't have anything. Let me see if there's under edit. No. I don't have that option. I don't know why, but I don't.
The three you see mute if you kind of move your cursor to the top right
Yeah.
of your own face, it lets you I'm trying to do it
It's
myself.
all right. Yeah, you're trying to do it too?
We know you're not Paul.
I'll just keep reintroducing myself. Oh, we've got a few people in here now.
Yeah. And I see Miss Alvarenga is in here as well.
Oh, hi, Miss Alvarenga.
Hello, can y'all hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
we can.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect.
We're just waiting for a few minutes to get everybody in, and then we can get started.
Perfect, no problem.
In the meantime, do you want to let the parents to just go over whoever is here to introduce themselves? That would be
Yeah,
a good way of.
sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
sure. We'll start with Smita. I think, Smita, would you like to introduce yourself?
Why don't we start, Elon? I feel like we're calling on parents that might
That's a
Sure.
good
doing
point.
this for the first time. Yeah.
Sure. My name is Ilangavan Krishnan, and I have two kids in Carnegie. My first one is 11th grader, and my second one is a freshman. So they're both excited. My first one is, it just looked like the first day we walked in the school, but we are almost about sending them off from Carnegie in about in next year. They will be flying away. Yeah. So it's
So
been a
true.
very fantastic past phase. I learned a lot of things along the way, especially at Carnegie. I would be happy to. I'm also serving as the freshman class parent. So if there is anything I could help in making your journey easy, I would definitely be happy to share that. And I do have a 10-pointer I will share with you guys when after the introduction. Yeah, go ahead. Next one, please.
I can go ahead. Oh, somebody else spoke up. There you are, Smita.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm just driving home, so
Sure.
I'm Smita. My son Swami is a freshman this year at Carnegie, and so everything is new to us, and we're just kind of looking forward to learning more.
Great.
Good. So,
Go.
Yasi, do you want to go ahead and kind of get us started? I see
Sure.
like 40 or so of us have joined. It's going to take
That's
a
pretty
while if we
good.
all introduce ourselves. So maybe we can kind of get started and then let everybody, guys, it's a very informal thing. So definitely jump in. If you feel comfortable, start your videos. We're just here to say hello, meet each other, and kind of get to know folks. Thank you, Ada, for doing that. And as we go through, we do have a couple of programs today that Yasi will walk us through. But they're all interactive, so feel free to ask questions and jump in. Okay.
And also I was gonna thanks Gary, by the way, for those who don't know, which I don't think are any. Gary is our president for the PTO executive board this year, and I'm the secretary. My name's Yasi. It's nice to meet you guys. I might have met some of you at the freshman lock-in, which was a very successful event, and the kids who went, I think, had a really good time. But anyways, what I was going to suggest for the meeting is for everybody to have their mute buttons on if possible, because a lot of times there'll be kind of background noise. And then when somebody wants to talk or they've raised their hand or anything like that happens, then you can unmute. That'll make it easier for both you to be heard and for you to hear others. And I think like Gary said, we're just gonna kind of go through a few fun things and it'll help us introduce ourselves to each other, and we'll play a couple of fun kind of get to know you games. And just, yeah, it's just informal. And please start to put anything in the chat at any point that you want, and we'll definitely have a question and answer section at the end of this. So don't worry if you feel that, you know, your questions maybe not being answered right now. There will be a question and answer. We'll try to go through everything in the chat. There will also be some previous high school students here to talk to you at the end. So just stay tuned for all of it. So I think,
Yasi, I see
yes.
a few other board members that have joined, and I
Oh,
see
good.
some faculty as well. So I know Miss Alvarenga's
That's
on. So
wonderful.
if we can get some introductions. Hey, Bogar.
That's wonderful. Yeah, let's hear from Bogar, who is our parliamentarian this year. Hi.
Hi guys, my name's Bogar Ventura. My daughter's Julia, and she's in a sophomore, so just fresh off of being a freshman.
Yay, you
So,
made it.
yeah, you're all gonna make it. Let's see. Okay. Yes, Miss Alvarenga will actually also just speak to you at length. So, she is one of our wonderful staff members at Carnegie. Let me see who else is joining us. And just to let you know, I have two kids at Carnegie. I have a junior now, Oliver Satchel, and I have a freshman myself, Lily Satchel. So I am also hopefully going to be able to answer some of your questions. Looks like we're joined by a lot of people, and I don't see any other staff or
Yep, I
PTO board members. So maybe we can, we will try to keep you guys on a relatively decent schedule. So, you know, you're not kind of like freaking out that anything's running over and you can get back to all the other important things you have to do. So, do we want, yes.
Can you hear me? This is Cindy Schultz, the librarian.
Oh, hi, Ms. Schultz.
And I
Hi.
don't use Zoom very much, but I'm trying to log on to my computer. I'm on my phone right now, and
Yeah.
it's saying that the passcode is incorrect. Did
That's-
anyone else have that issue?
I think
Yeah,
other
we
people
heard
are having
that.
it.
We heard that too. Are you able to use the QR code?
I am, which I have on my, which I'm doing right now on my phone. Is there a way I can? I don't think.
I went in through the link. I was having the same problem, but I went in through the link from the CVHS PTO
Oh,
website.
okay.
There's a
Let me
link
try
there.
that.
Actually, Bogar, now that you bring that up, just to let you guys all know, in case you don't, there is a CVHS Carnegie Vanguard High School PTO website, because there's a separate Carnegie Vanguard High School, just general, the school website, but there's a PTO website, which is cvhspto.org. I can type it in here for you too. You can find so much information on there. Everything is on there. Upcoming events, links to all the meetings. There's the calendar that'll tell you everything that's coming up. And if you click on the specific calendar events, a lot of times the links to the meetings will be on the calendar. There are the meeting minutes. Sorry. I didn't hear that. Would you guys, who?
I think it was someone's phone speaking up.
Oh, okay. I just put the link in the chat. So I highly suggest every once in a while when you guys have like 2 minutes where you're waiting in traffic, or well, not waiting in traffic, let's not be on our phones, like waiting at the carpool, just go on there and see, you know, it's constantly being updated. There's a feed on there that tells you what the most pertinent events or happenings are. There's a lot of, and it's a really user-friendly, fun website. It'll tell you everything, including if you're not part of the PTO yet, that is the best way for you to get all the pertinent information, emails, everything. You can go on there and join the PTO on the website. So I highly suggest you put that website as one of your saved favorites and you check it as often as you can.
I just put the link to the Zoom on the
Oh,
chat.
thanks,
If
Bogar.
you guys want to share that with others.
I'll go ahead and
Thanks,
put it in the
Bogar.
WhatsApp. Do we
Somebody
want to go
is,
ahead and get started?
yes, why don't we get started? Because it is 6:10, and I think that, Gary, yes, we will have Miss Alvarenga, who is one of our lovely staff members, tell you guys a few things, introduce herself and talk to you a little bit. Miss Alvarenga?
Good evening, everybody. Can everybody hear me?
Yes,
We
How
can
are
hear
y'all?
we can hear you.
Perfect. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the socioeconomic. So let's start with families. We need your help. If please to filling out all the forms in Power School. If y'all can please complete the socioeconomic forms and also the student verification form. When you complete the socioeconomic form, Carnegie receives Title I funding. When you complete the student verification forms, we have your students' most up-to-date information and emergency contact. If you need assistance, you may call the school at 713-732-3690 and ask for me, Ms. Alvarenga, and I can walk you through it, or we can make an appointment and come into the school and I'll be glad to help you fill out the forms. Both forms are they're in different places. The socioeconomic is on the top where it says forms. When you go in there, you're gonna go log in and Parents Connect, look for forms, click on forms, and I need all those forms filled out. Then once you are done and you get out of that, you go into student verification, which is actually in the bottom. It's like below, like 2 or 3 steps below where forms are at. You will also find that in Power School. And if y'all need any assistance, please call me. I am here to help y'all.
Miss Alvarenga, thank you so much. Actually, there's a question in the chat that pertains to this. How does a parent know if one of these forms is missing from their child?
So I will start calling somewhere around maybe the first week of October.
Mhm.
And I'll give you an example. I'll call and say, hey, this is Claudia Alvarenga. We just noticed that I'm missing 2 forms. And I actually let you know, or I'll email y'all and say, hey, I'm missing these 2 forms. But the most important ones that I need right now is the student verification form and the socioeconomic form.
And can a
Especially if you're
parent?
senior, especially if you have seniors.
Okay, that's good to know. Can a parent log on and make sure, like, are there checks next to all the filled out forms before you even have to get to the point that you have to call anybody? Can a parent log on and just find out, oh, I have filled all these, there are green checks next to them?
Yes.
And
So
what is
all of
that
them would
website?
say it's on the same, on the forms. When you go in there and you click on forms, before you even
Right.
click on any forms, you'll see it on your right-hand side and it'll say there, not
And
completed. If it
Is
has
this
a
Power
button,
School?
yes, this is
This
in
is Power School.
this
Okay,
is in
great.
Parents Power School Connect.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Can I
Okay.
ask if are any parents on here having issues filling out their form or not being able to log in? Can I just get a show of hands?
I see one person.
So
Hello?
I have
I
a
s-
go ahead. Anybody? I have a
Patty?
question. I filled out my form, but I know in the past it was like not mandatory to fill that out. So is it mandatory now to have that form filled out?
It is mandatory for every student to have it filled out.
Okay.
So but there's an option in that form. You do not, there's an option where you can opt out and don't give out any information. You
Okay.
don't have to put in your income. It just says there, I do not want to give out any information, and you click on
Okay.
it. And you, and
Okay.
it's still, I just need that form.
All right.
Because you know what? At the end of the day, I've had parents call me and they're like, oh my God, Miss Alvarenga, you know, I need to change this and I need to do this because, you know, they're asking it for it when they're going to college. Well, at that point, I'm not able to help them because
Right.
they, you know, it takes a while. I got to go back in there. You got to give me the form. We got to go in there, fill it out, and I have to update it. And, you know, like I said, especially for these seniors, they need it.
Miss Alvarenga?
Yes, ma'am.
The only thing that I wanted to add was, even though there is the option that, you know, like you mentioned, that you say, I don't want to share this information, even though you say that, it doesn't allow you to submit the form. It's kind of it's making it, it says it's forcing you to fill that field, which you are saying you don't want to share that information. So that's why I found this year's form kind of trickier. Even though you're saying you don't want to give the information, it's making it mandatory. So how exactly do you submit it when it won't allow you to do that? Even though in the form itself, it says you don't have to, you can opt out of it.
Actually, give me a call in the morning because I'm not in front of a computer. I would have to see it myself, but I did have a parent to come in last week and we went through all their forms and they clicked on it and said, I decline. They sign and they submit it.
Okay, then maybe I will come into the office.
Okay.
Because when I try to do that, it wouldn't allow me to submit the form.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I'm there every day from 7 o'clock till 3:30.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Miss Alvarenga. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, y'all. Thank you so much. And if y'all want to pass the word on and, you know, let the parents know if they need help, please call me. I'm there to help y'all. We just need to get all these forms, especially the, you know, the student verification. That's super important. Let's say, you know, hope nothing happens, but let's say if I have an emergency, I need to get in touch with parents. And a lot of the emails and a lot of the phone numbers, they're wrong numbers.
Wow. Well, thanks for bringing that to our attention. And
Yes.
and like Miss Alvarenga said, please, if anybody's not in this meeting, but you have friends who, you know, you can pass this information on to, please encourage them to fill them out as soon as possible. Thank you. So should we move on to our next section, which is going to be kind of fun. This is for us to a little bit get to know our little cohort. I suggest everybody open their phones up so that you can scan this QR code. We're going to do a little fun quiz just to give us like...
Put your phone. They have a QR code. Yes.
Hi, guys, just as a reminder, if you could all please mute your phones or computers so that we don't get any background. Yeah, so let's start with a couple of questions of just like getting an idea about at least the group that's in here now, what we share in common and, you know, different kinds of getting to know you. So if you guys can, Gary, does this work that we ask the question and then they scan the QR code?
Yes, that's exactly
Good.
right. So go
Okay.
ahead and scan the QR
Yes.
code, enter, we'll give everyone maybe 10 seconds, 15 seconds to enter, and then let's see what comes up kind of as far as where people live.
That
And
sounds
I'm
good.
waiting to see if we'll be surprised with
Yeah.
different areas of town.
Exactly, because you guys might not realize this, but Carnegie has people from all over the city and suburbs. And in fact, if I'm not mistaken, at the last PTO general meeting, Principal Moss said we have 50 different middle schools represented in our freshman class this year, which is pretty amazing. If you think about 50 middle schools, they're spread out pretty widely throughout the town. So I'm doing it myself.
Yeah. Is anyone having issues with the QR code? Was everyone able to enter it?
Yeah, I was. It took it right to the question, and then I was able to.
Okay,
Let's see if everybody's having an
Right.
okay time.
Shall we move on?
So,
find out?
okay, yeah, let's do that. Hopefully everybody's had a chance. Wow,
Ooh,
that's
look
so
at
cute.
that.
So, does the color mean that most of the people are from the energy corridor?
You know what? I actually don't know.
Like that's how I would read this readout, is that there's a lot from River Oaks West U. There are a lot of students from Montrose. There are a lot of students from the energy corridor. But look at all these other places: Rice University, Sharpstown, Garden Oaks, the Heights, the Medical Center.
Yeah.
That's a lot of different areas.
Wow, we got someone's
and,
address. Thank you.
We'll be sending you flowers. That's
Let's
pretty
move
nice.
on
I
to-
wonder if, okay, let's go. Oh yeah, well, I was just thinking to myself, I hope everybody is not having a lot of trouble with traffic, because everyone's from different places and the traffic is definitely can get crazy. So hopefully you guys have had a chance in the last month to figure out your route and you're doing okay. Okay, let's go to the next question. Who can identify the school mascot?
I'd say everyone take a stab at it and do not
Everybody
call
do.
your kids.
Yeah.
No cheating.
PTO board members all know this, so.
Yeah, we would hope.
We
for
better.
that.
We better.
See.
Let's give it a few more seconds.
Now, this one's really important because we're celebrating a mascot day later this
That's right.
month. So
That's right.
you're gonna see by the end of the month, everyone's gonna know who our mascot is. But let's see if they do now. Oh, the fighting squirrels. I like that.
Okay, should we reveal, Corey?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
100%.
That's
Right.
impressive. Good
So
job,
that's
you guys.
24 people out of 55 got it right. Got the answer. The rest, I think, we're betting on the fighting squirrels.
I actually love our mascot. And if you guys have not had a chance to be inside the school, if you do go and you walk around, there are some places where our mascot is represented, including some very nice artwork done by a local artist. So I would encourage you to look out for our rhino mascot in different formats throughout the school. Super cute.
Okay.
All right, so let's move on to the next thing, which is, and this is so probably what's happened to most of you guys is you've had your kids come from middle school to high school and they are already starting to recognize what a difference the transition is from middle school to high school, including they're feeling a little bit older, they're feeling a little more independent, they're probably feeling a little bit overwhelmed with the shift in school work, which is totally natural and expected. But we thought, what are some typical questions they might be asking you, either regarding their new school year or generally? So one of the ones I know I get a lot is either, why do I have to do chores, or do I really have to do this, or some version of that question. So who is, well,
So Yassi, I
yeah.
was actually going to say, we as the board shouldn't be allowed to answer, but I
Deal.
want to hear from other parents as to what's a good answer. So so we can collectively learn on how we answer these questions.
That sounds
Um,
good.
So if you feel, and you can write these down, and throughout the evening, as we're continuing talking with other speakers, if you want to go ahead and put in some answers that can be funny, that can be, on point, but really great ways to kind of learn from each other.
And you guys can put it in the chat too if you want. And we can kind of read them as we go. Like, do you get the question, can I borrow some money? What do you answer to that? What do you feel comfortable doing with your kids to make them both independent, but also to be able to, kind of live a wider ranged life now? Why can't I do this? That's going to be one of the most prominent ones. Why can't I drive, go to this party, stay, for the game, all that stuff? Everyone else is doing it. How do you guys deal with that question? How do you answer it? I just wanted to point out that one of our parents just said, which is so cute, Principal Moss's voice message does help with knowing who the mascot is, because he starts every message with something like, hello, rhinos. So thanks, Principal Moss. That's true. And I hope those messages are helping you guys too. I, for one, think that they've been very helpful to remind me of upcoming things and to make me feel connected to the school on kind of a more personal level, just hearing messages from the principal. Let us know if that's been helpful. Let us know if that's a good way to let you know about stuff. Oh, we have one answer to the, can I borrow some money? It says, let me shake the money tree in the backyard. Be right back. That's a good one, because the can I have some money does not end. It just is a daily thing. Do any of you guys have your kids set up with their personal like Apple Pay or anything like that? Do you guys think that helps? How much chores do your kids do? Because that is a hard balancing act. They're going to have a lot of schoolwork. None.
Someone that had the courage to speak up.
Yeah. To tell the truth. It wasn't me, but I feel like I would kind of say the same thing.
Yeah, see, I
Yeah.
feel like we can let people mull on this and then
Okay,
get
sounds
started
good.
with Ms.
Sounds
Schultz.
good. Let's move on to our lovely librarian, Miss Cynthia Schultz, who is going to talk to us, let us know about herself a little bit, and she's going to talk to us about all the resources that are available to you guys through the library and just as far as at Carnegie. Let's hear from lovely Miss Schultz.
Hello, can y'all see me, hear me?
Yes, hi.
I'm Cindy Schultz. I'm the librarian. This is my 8th year at Carnegie. Best job I've ever had. I'm glad I'm still here, even with our new superintendent, because a lot of people don't have their librarians. But anyway, just a little bit about me. I've been a school educator for 29 years, I think, and then in the library for 24. And I've worked at every grade level from kindergarten up into junior college. So I've had an array of experience, and by far high school is my favorite. This is actually the longest I've ever stayed at a school, to be honest. But anyway, as far as resources go, I don't know. Can I share? Oh, let me see if I can share the website. Okay. I don't use this very often, so let me see. Screen. I don't want to share a document. I want to share the website.
So if you have the website up on your screen,
yes,
you can click whichever screen it is.
Okay. Desktop 1. Let's see, entire screen. See. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the library website. It's not a whole lot, but the way you get to it is from our Carnegie webpage. You go to resources and then scroll down to library. And this is my funny little joke. I'm a big New Yorker cartoons person, so I had to throw one of those things in here. Anyway, so we have a library catalog in which our students can search for a book. We also have audiobooks, and I'll talk about that in a second, and online books. So they can search there. And then we have Mac and Via. I love Mac and Via. It is ebooks and audiobooks. It used to be Comics Plus. I forgot to take that off of here, but we lost Comics Plus after this all happened. But Mac and Via, they can log in and just download audiobooks. And I'm a big fan of audiobooks. I mostly listen to audiobooks because, you know, you can kill two birds with one stone. You can drive around. But anyway, they don't have a very, you know, a whole range of collection, but it's a nice place to start if you're looking for an ebook or an audiobook. And then we used to have a lot more of these, but we only have one research database now, and it's Gale, and Gale's the company. And so if you click on Gale, and I didn't even click on all these. I forgot I could click on all these. So this is the library catalog. And go. It's not going. Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, so welcome to Carnegie Vanguard, and this is where and there's a lot going on, like what books are checked out most, pop up, it's a lot of stuff, but it's a nice little system. Okay, so I'm gonna go back here, and then this is Mac and Via, and all they have to do for Mac and Via to check out audiobooks and ebooks is put in their school, I think just Carnegie, and it takes them to that Clever login where they can just log in. They don't have to put anything. They don't have to do a user ID. The next thing is Gale. These are our databases, and what our research databases are, for anyone who doesn't know, they're basically printed resources put into electronic format. So newspapers, journals, professional journals, just all the things that have been edited for accuracy, so it's different from the web. So you know you're getting correct information. And they have several databases. I think there's 25. But anyway, and all sorts of for all sorts of academics. So I'm not going to go through these all, but one of, like, they have biography, health and wellness. My favorite one, and it's one that I kind of like to just look at for fun, is opposing viewpoints. And it talks about all the things going on, like it's updated constantly. All these databases are updated constantly. And they tell you what's going on in the world, and it's all of the controversial topics that people, you know, and it talks about the different points of view about those topics, and it's just really interesting. And the thing about the database is they all continuously update, and that's why like library books, especially like medical library books and science library books, it takes so long for them to get published. So instead, we're just putting them in these databases, and that's what's kind of happening to libraries and that situation. We have a partnership with Houston Public Library. The students have a specific login, and I have a bookmark that I keep at the circulation desk where all the logins they need for the databases and everything is here. But Houston Public Library, if they log in, they have a login with their ID number, their HISD ID number, and they can access everything they have to offer as well. Hardback books, ebooks, audiobooks, databases. So that's a nice thing. They used to have a great database called JSTOR. I don't know if anybody's familiar with it, but we used it a lot because it's college level, and they no longer have it. So I'm kind of sad about that. And then anybody on campus has access to the New York Times. No login is required, but you just have to be on campus to access it. So your students, your kiddos can read the New York Times daily. And then I have a little thing where if they want to request a book to be placed in the library, they can do that. And then the rest of it is just general information about our hours and stuff like that. So that's kind of it.
That's amazing. I don't think I ever knew there were that many resources.
That's a lot of
Well,
resources.
we've lost a lot of resources too, like just since I've been here, we've lost so many. And especially that it's really bad that we lost our district librarians because they oversaw our databases, our circulation system. They did like the programs they organized, name that book and all the programs they had. So we're just at a loss now that they're
What
gone.
a shame.
So
What a
it's really
shame. What a
sad.
shame. None of us can understand how that's a
Yeah.
thing that is, taken out. What a shame. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But thank you for everything
Okay.
that you are providing. That's incredible.
Yep. They just have to come and ask me.
That's
So,
great.
All right.
we have a parent with us that works at the public library. Do you want to, I don't want to put you on the spot, but if you want to come off mute.
Oh, yes. Hello,
Yeah.
everyone.
Hi.
Hi. My name is Katia. I've been working for the Houston Public Library for almost 10 years. So if any of you need any resource, like any information about anything, how to apply for library cards, and just let me know. I'm here. I can help. Okay. And yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And you have a freshman, or do you have more than one student?
Yes, I
Katya.
have only one, Mario.
Mario. And if people do want to reach out to you, should they email you?
Yeah, I'll leave my email here.
Okay.
So any questions regards anything online, resources, or even like how the easiest thing, like how to apply for a library card.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, just let me know.
Thank you so much. Does
And
anybody else have any questions for Ms. Schultz? Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Schultz, were you saying something?
I was just going to throw in, because of our partnership and the students can access all the things with their student ID, they do not need to get a library card. So that's nice. That's,
Oh, that's
kind of
great.
the bonus, the benefit of it. So
That's amazing.
just want to throw that in there.
Thank you.
Hello.
Yes,
I
Wendy.
Yes, thank you. I wanted to add my 2 cents on the social economic form. I realized that since I guess COVID, I've been using my son's power school, and I was trying to get to the form through there, and it will not allow me. So for the life of me, I can't remember where I put the password for my own, for the parent power school app. And I think that would be the only way. So if anybody else is having that trouble going through their students' power school, they will probably not be able to get to the form either.
So Wendy, I'll say the best thing to do is to call Miss Alvarenga. And if you scroll up on the chat, her number was shared earlier. Or you can just call the school direct line and ask for Miss Alvarenga. She has worked with these forms for so many years now. I feel like she recognizes problems just by you talking about them. She'll know what to, like, where to send you and what you might be doing to get you to the right place.
Okay, thank you. I'll look for her name, but I didn't see it right here right now. I'm on the phone.
I'll put it
If
back
you-
out. No worries.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. All
Okay.
right.
Should we move on, Yassi? I think some of
Sure,
our
yeah.
guests have come in.
Oh, great. Yes, by the way, guys, if you didn't get to pose your question, please feel free to put it in the chat. We'll have a question and answer at the end. Yes, so our next segment, we're going to have 3 former high school students who are coming back here to talk to us and let us know a little bit about their experience at, their high school, what helped, what didn't, how it's been leaving high school and, moving on to college. So these are the 3 students that we are going to hear from. let's see which one of them would like to speak first. Let me see who's here right now. Is everybody? Oh, how about me here? I see you, so how about you go first?
Hi, hello. Can you guys hear me well?
Yes, welcome
Yes,
and thank you.
Yeah, of course. Hi, everyone. My name is Mihir Rilan. I'm here with two of my partners, Cooper and Yash, and we're former graduates of Carnegie and HISD. And we're here to help provide some insights into the high school journey, how we can help, how we navigated through it, and what we can do to help you as you guys start your journeys. We offer a lot of different services ranging from like your academic planning, knowing what courses to take, the different extracurricular activities you might want to engage in or want to explore, and other skills. We help you develop other skills that prepare you for college and beyond. If one of my partners wants to take over.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I guess mainly, so Cooper and I are graduates of Carnegie. We had a great experience, and we did pretty well in our time here. Here's a graduate of DeBakey High School, and I guess just like keeping it like short and sweet. In terms of academic planning, we're all very STEM oriented. So I really enjoyed classes taken with Miss Chen. I had pretty much all of my math classes taken with her. In terms of extracurriculars, I focused a lot on research, on computer science, specifically programming and science fair, and I did this with Mihir. And throughout all of this, we had various different mentors. We had mentors for science fair specifically for learning about research. We also had mentors in terms of like academics, and we went on to do mentorship for academics in the form of tutoring ourselves. So just like for any starting out freshman, I know this is like a freshman parent call, I really suggest kind of talking to a student who's older. If you can find a student who's older, we're always available to chat as well. Getting a sense of kind of what your child's interests are. My younger brother, he's a sophomore right now, and he has very different interests than me. And so the advice I give him about academic planning at Carnegie is very different than the advice that I got from my mentors about academic planning and about the extracurriculars that I'm doing. So I think it's really important to get a sense of what your child's interested in, what they want to do with both like their college career and generally with their life, and just take it from there. I think that it's important to start planning. I really wish I had started planning from my freshman year. I ended up starting like midway through my sophomore year. I dilly-dallied a little bit, and that's something that I would have wished that I could do better. And then if you're feeling overwhelmed at the start of high school, I would say take some time to acclimate. I just started college as well. It's an adjustment period, but you'll get used to it, and I'm sure you'll flourish at Carnegie. And then Cooper also went to Carnegie, so maybe if he wants to say a couple words about his experience as well.
Well, first I'd like to second what Yash said about Miss Chen. I feel like her courses are like a great intro to if you want to go into math or STEM. She does like engineering stuff that you can take later on in your high school career. And honestly, I feel like high school is just a great time to like learn about yourself and learn what you want to do. So I would really like start thinking from the beginning, like what interests you.
Thank you guys. I have a question in the chat just because you're already kind of talking to this, but someone is asking, what advice do you have for freshmen that are feeling overwhelmed at the start of high school? I don't know if you guys can remember that far back, but what do you think?
Yeah, so I mean Cooper as well. You can also go on Mihir. You had a different experience with DeBakey, but definitely I think I got a little bit overwhelmed at the beginning of high school. And honestly, my best advice would be make good friends, make good connections with your teachers. Miss Chen, I mean, both me and Cooper had really good experiences with Miss Chen. So definitely reach out to Miss Chen if you're interested in STEM. Even if you're not taking a class with her, she's a really good like resource. I used to hang out in her class a lot, and that really made me feel a lot better. Just it's important to have fun while also working. So I think if you're having fun, especially having fun while working, then you're not going to have as hard of a time. And then I know Mahir went more of the medical route, so maybe he can speak to like freshmen who want to do medicine stuff and a little overwhelmed in that regard.
Yeah, sure. For all freshmen that are starting high school, and I think we have a slightly different experience since our freshman year was virtual because of COVID. So our first time in high school was through a computer, and the first time we went to an in-person school was our sophomore year. So we almost had like an accelerated learning curve to get acclimated to high school. I think Yash hit it on the head where you want to surround yourself with good people who will support you. That's why a lot of us worked with mentors during our time and why it was able to help us get to where we are now. I think being in a circle of friends and teachers and having a support group around you that can help you when you have questions about which classes you should take or how to best study for your quiz that's coming up next Thursday, or which teachers and classes to take, which productivity apps to use or study tips, all these different things. You're not on your own. Everyone else is also in the same boat as you. And so building a good circle of support around you is going to be helpful for that. For students who are interested in the medical field, high school is a really, really early place to start. The medical journey is very long. I'm a pre-med student at Johns Hopkins, and it's already going to be another 10 years of schooling for me, and I just got out of high school. For kids who are just starting high school, I'd say to take the time to explore and develop your interests around the place. There's nothing wrong knowing going in that I want to be an XYZ field, but this is your time to truly explore everything possible. So I would say surround yourself with not just one group of people, but a diverse group of people and learn from different perspectives and dialogue.
And just to answer, I believe it was Ms. Trivedi's question. So if you're looking for mentors, then I think my personal my personal approach to how I found mentors was I found mentors within the school. So I talked to upperclassmen specifically. There are a couple upperclassmen from class of 22, 21, class 23 that were all very, very helpful in giving me like a sense of, you know what, okay, I'm many years out from where they are, but here's where they're sitting, and they came from a very basically the same environment that I came from. Here's what they did, here's what they regretted, here's how I should do things. And I really took that into account. So definitely talking to people older than you in school if your students have any friends like that. And then teachers are obviously a good method of support as well. And then the three of us also, if you don't have anyone that you know personally or that you prefer, then the three of us also offer mentorship services in the form of like we offer test prep if your student's worried about test prep. That's probably later on. We also offer like just general academic planning stuff. So like, okay, here's what classes you need to take. For example, I didn't know that a lot of schools require 4 years of foreign language. And that's not something that I really got information on from within the school. And so I think it would have been really nice to have heard about it from external sources. So just little tips and tricks like that from people who have gone through the college application process, who have helped other people with this as well previously. Definitely always helpful. So reach out to us, reach out to people in your community, reach out to teachers, and also just reach out to people who are generally knowledgeable about things you care about. For example, Mahir and I worked with a mentor for science fair, just a researcher, and it was really, really helpful. We both learned a lot, and that eventually took us into where we are today. So we have some details about our mentorship services as well. And I can just drop that in the chat for y'all in case y'all are interested in reaching out or y'all need mentorship for your students.
Thank you so much, Yash. There is a question about how, and maybe you spoke a little bit, the three of you spoke a little bit to this, but how to plan from the very beginning, I guess, from freshman year, which classes to take. Is there any overarching advice you have for like, what's the best way to sort of have ideal plan for the upcoming 4 years? Because they're obviously freshmen are taking mostly requirements now, but that'll begin to change starting sophomore year.
Yeah, so I think that it's definitely not it's definitely like important to decide what you want basically. So first start with your interest. That's how I did it. I knew I've been programming now for 7 years. So I knew coming into high school I was really interested in CS. If your student's still exploring things, then determine the course load like that. So for example, in my freshman year, you don't have a lot of flexibility. You basically get your one elective class. You get to choose art, tech, theater. But I think it's most important going into your sophomore year, you pick, okay, what AP courses do I want to take? How do I want to use my electives? I took AP statistics because I really wanted to go very heavy on math. And so eventually, by the time that Cooper and I finished school, we had both completed all of the math courses available at Carnegie. If you want to do that, you start planning that from your freshman year, right? So decide what you want, then kind of look through the course catalog, see if there's a course that maybe you think is too advanced for you. Look at it, and maybe if it's only available to juniors, you can ask teachers and they'll let you into that class early. I've done that both in high school and in college. Teachers are very accommodating at Carnegie and just in general. And so I think it's really important to look through all the available opportunities, talk to people who know about those opportunities. So Cooper and I did a lot of research on the course catalog at Carnegie. And then it's also really paid off for us. And I'm at UNC, he's at Harvard. And so it really paid off for us because I can take higher level math classes. I can take linear algebra and discrete math. He can take math 25, essentially like junior or sophomore level courses in college because we planned our courses really well. And so important to just kind of determine what you care about, talk to people who know about it, and then also think about how it'll fit into your like later ambitions.
Great, thank
And
you.
Cooper, do you have any advice for that?
Yeah, actually, I'd like to say that your freshman year, like obviously you're very restricted with which courses you can choose, as Yash said. But I feel like that's a good way to kind of survey your interests that year because you're forced to take like biology and then math, obviously. So it's a good opportunity to just kind of like scope out what you want to pursue during high school.
That's great advice. Mihir, did you want to add anything to that?
Sure. I mean, I think I had a slightly different experience because I went to DeVakey, so my courses I was able to choose from were slightly different in terms of picking my electives and planning out my course options. But I think the general philosophy still stands that you should spend your freshman and even to some considerable extent your sophomore year exploring your interests and deciding which courses did I really have a lot of fun in, which courses am I not a fan of and overloaded me for reasons that I can't explain, but I didn't like doing the work, and use that to guide your future course planning in your junior and senior year, particularly when it comes to advanced classes. An example I can give for me is just the way Yash and Cooper completed the math sequence at Carnegie. I completed the sciences sequence at DeBakey. I took every upper level science class that was offered, and I even took one beyond our curriculum just because I knew, based off my first 2 years, that the science courses were the ones I was interested. I forewent an extra year of foreign language to take an extra science class because with my planning, that's what I knew I wanted to do. So try to get an understanding within your first 2 years of what subjects you really like to take, what do you like to learn about, and then from there, start to decide, is there anything that I'm willing to start taking advanced classes for that I want to become accelerated in, or do I not want to dedicate all that time to and rather explore other interests?
Thank you. And actually, the three of you obviously did a wonderful job taking these extremely difficult classes, and looks like you did a wonderful job managing all the course load because you're at wonderful universities throughout the country. So I think this question comes up a lot, especially for freshman parents, which is any advice on good time management techniques? Because I think that it is hard to transition from any middle school into these very academically rigorous high schools in general.
Yeah, sure. So speaking to time management, the way that I used it, the way that I like approached it in my like high school days was a little bit different to how I approach it now. I honestly prefer how I'm approaching it now. And so I'll kind of give an explanation of both of the things I did. So starting in my freshman year, it was pretty scattered. I kind of just kept a mental tally of things, and that doesn't work. Don't let your kids do that. Bad idea. There's a software called Notion, and that was really, really useful for me to basically like create lists of everything that I needed to do, all the assignments, the due dates, classes they're in, the different kinds of assignments as well. If it's a project, you need to put a lot more work in. It takes a lot more time to get done than a simple homework assignment. So I use Notion. And now I use Notion in combination with Google Calendar just so I can get a more like temporal view of what exactly is going on and kind of space out my days. Now I have more freedom. So as your kid gets older, should integrate more things into their time management stack. I think that like as a freshman, just start with a simple to-do list, or just like a simple Excel, Notion, whatever you prefer, and go from there. It should be simple enough that your kids want to use it, because I didn't want to use anything very complicated, and I found the best results with something very nice and easy.
Thank you. That's such good concrete advice. Great. What about Cooper and Mihir? Anything different from that?
I feel like the sooner you acknowledge that you have assignments that you haven't completed, like the longer you're thinking about them. And I mean, that does, like, if you have Notion, like Yash said, that kind of helps with that. You're more inclined to do them. Like you spend more time thinking about them. It's more of like, it's more urgent. So I would not wait. Like as soon as you get an assignment, I would at least look over it. So you're thinking about it, like how you can try and solve whatever problems are on it. I found that very helpful in high school, and even in college right now, I'm doing that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, just my quick 2 cents on time management, I'd say. Um, kind of what Cooper said. It really depends on what you feel your strong suits are in terms of what you can get done very fast and what you know will take you more time. Um, I personally use Google Calendar to organize my classes and when I have assignments due, and more recently, starting in my senior year of high school and then also now in college, one thing I've started to do is actually put in study sessions for myself in my Google Calendar. If I know that I have some free time, I will pencil into my Google Calendar, hey, I'm going to spend these 2 hours completing homework or studying for a certain class. And what that does is help me get that mental note in my head that I'm not doing anything for those 2 hours, but it shouldn't be for me to spend my time on my phone or going out when I have assignments at hand. So I'd say even from, starting in freshman year, it doesn't have to be anything like penciling in a Google Calendar notification, but kind of maybe writing down your tasks, having some sort of checklist that's not in your head, to give yourself a reminder that there's still stuff left on the table for you to do before you kind of have time for yourself or exploring more fun interests, to say.
Thank you. That's really all very good advice. Along the same lines, because we've talked a lot about academics, but as a general overarching thing, including things like clubs and extracurriculars, what can freshmen do now to start building their resume, thinking towards their college applications? Any advice for freshmen?
Yeah, so I think building your college applications is really made up of a lot of things. So if you take a look at the file that I sent in the chat, I'll link it again. It's basically kind of a list of the different things that we offer, because it's kind of a list of the things that we did to prep for our college applications, right? College applications are a really intensive process. I applied to 21 schools. I think Mahir applied to more schools. It takes a lot of time. It's a big portion of your life. So I think basically the 5 things or 4 or 5 things that are important is that first, you should just get like a general overarching view of what you want to do. I have friends that went into politics. They did very different extracurriculars than I did. I have friends who went the pre-med route, Mihir, right? Did very different things than I did, right? So that's really important. Just get a general holistic view of what you're going to do, where you want to apply. I think honestly, it's good to start making your college list early, just kind of field interest and then go from there. And then you also need to worry about some more concrete things, right? You need to actually create your extracurriculars. Creating extracurriculars is not something that can be done in like just 1 year. Basically, you can't rush it during your junior year. The more time you have to do extracurriculars, the absolute better. Mihir and I worked on a research paper for almost 2 full years. It took that long to get it published, and it was a very difficult process, more difficult than we had even thought. And so it was really important for us to kind of plan that ahead of time. And if we hadn't, we wouldn't have had the time to get it done by college app time. Additionally, it's also important to kind of get a sense for like what the schools are looking for. Each school has a common data set, and then we've also done some research into the common data set of each school. So it kind of tells you, here's what this school cares about, here's what this school doesn't care about. Some schools are also test optional, not test optional, right? So your testing is also extremely important now that test optional is going away. Both Cooper and I are national merit scholars, and Mihir received a 1570 on the SAT, right? So we're all pretty like qualified with test preparation. We've done a lot of test preparation. We've also we've got partners as part of Summit Mentoring that have done competitions like the USA Math Olympiad. So basically like top 100, top 150 kids in the entire United States for math, right? Both Mihir and I are International Science and Engineering Fair award winners. And so like different tests in the general sense of like the SAT, the ACT, those are all good, but also you want to prep for other things like Olympiads, right? If your kid wants to do Bio Olympiad, I believe Mihir did Bio Olympiad. He also did HOSA, things like that. You should definitely start prepping, not just in this like general suite, this like very general like set of exams. You should prep for other exams as well that will really help you, right? These are things that are helpful. I just went to a career seminar. They said that they care about the math competition. So it helps you not just for college apps, but beyond. And then finally is making sure your grades are good. Your grades are like the backbone of your application. And so like I received tutoring in my freshman year in order to get much better at math. And now I'm majoring in math. So it's really important to make sure you're performing well across the board in your classes. Cooper, Mihir, and I have all struggled with classes, but you can get there with consistent work and effort. And so putting in that, if you get all of the, I think maybe that was 4 things I said, you hit all of those things, it's a lot to think about, but that'll really give you comprehensive preparation for college. And it's always easier with somebody who's done it before.
Thank you. Cooper and Mihir, anything to add?
I think getting involved in things early is like invaluable if you want to have a good resume for college, because the longer you kind of learn new things, like about different routes you could take, the longer you are in any sort of organizations or activities. And you can also kind of like build like a base there. You can discover more interests to build your application from that. So it's really good to get involved in things early.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd say just to add on to that, again, what you do in high school is going to eventually, to some extent, dictate what you end up doing in college and beyond. Meaning that for someone who's participating in math competitions in the USA Math Olympiad is more likely than others to study math in university rather than completely switch gears and start studying English. So classes help with this, having a general idea of what classes you like, what classes you don't like, what might you be interested in. If you like working with your hands, maybe try your hand at a robotics club. If you're interested in computer science, maybe take on a few coding projects. Eventually, the end goal is to, like with Olympiads and competitions, become one of the best at what you do. But it's too early to do that because on a high school playing field, when you're a freshman with little experience, you're not going to be able to reasonably compete with juniors and seniors of higher experience. So don't take it upon yourself. Don't stress yourself to the core that I have to be the best right now. Take it slow and take it as your foundational year for you to learn what you really like to do, what you want to get good at. I think for me, one thing I wish I did earlier was identify just that, what it is that I really want to do and really get good at. It wasn't until probably near the end of my junior year that I figured that out, and I was starting to build myself up during my senior year. When you start as a freshman, start identifying those foundational abilities. Like, hey, someone is really interested with how numbers work and the theories behind why we can tell how many prime numbers there are in a certain set of numbers. If that stuff interests you, then learn more about math. Attend a math club meeting, watch some online lectures. There's a multitude of free resources out there for you to explore your interests and learn more about what it is you want to do. And clubs at schools and competitions offered at different high schools will be your kind of gateway into competing at higher levels. Yash mentioned some of our peers who were doing the USA Math Olympiad, how we participated at international science fairs. This wasn't until our junior years and even our early senior years. Those first 2 years were very foundational for us. And I don't think it should be an expectation that in freshman year, you're a nationally ranked biologist or biology competition, right? So take these years as foundational.
Yeah. Thank you. That's actually really good to know, because I feel like we've got probably a lot of freshman parents here just completely blown away by you guys, your credentials, and they're like, "Oh my God, my kid's like 14 and not anywhere near this." So it's good to know, like,
No,
this
I
is a
promise we were
progressive thing.
we were running around confused just at 14. We were the virtual school era. We had to learn how to like log into Microsoft Teams
That's
meetings, and
right.
yeah.
No wonder you guys are all into computer science. Okay, actually, one more question that I see in the chat, and that goes towards what you guys a little bit alluded to, which is the idea of clubs. How much do you guys think the club thing helped you? And first of all, is it ever too late to sign up for a club, or can you just kind of, enter one whenever you feel like you're interested? And any advice on that?
Yeah, so I think that clubs were really important for me. Both not necessarily as an application piece. It's great if you want to put it as an application piece. Typically, you need a little bit more than a club for it to be a substantial thing. More so, it's just good for meeting like good people, right? Both in college and in high school, I've found that I've made a lot of really talented and smart friends from clubs that are just within my interests, right? So, for example, I was the president of the AI club at Carnegie when I was there, and I met a lot of my friends through that club, and I was able to also mentor younger students and kind of give them an understanding of AI, and both like enhance my understanding, but also help other people, right? Which is always nice. So I think it's never too late to join a club. Clubs typically don't require applications. This is not a prescriptive rule. There may be some clubs that you can't join later, but typically most clubs are very welcoming, very easy to join. And clubs are also always starting out throughout the year. There are also a lot of clubs, if your student is interested in a specific thing, there's a lot of clubs that used to be active at Carnegie that aren't active anymore. And if your student wants to revive one of these clubs, that's an easy and a little bit like roundabout's the wrong like an easier way to get a club started if your student wants some leadership in a specific role. So definitely join clubs, make friends through your club, do good service stuff. I was in NHS, Cooper was in NHS, I believe Mahir was also in NHS at our respective schools. And I mean, just have a lot of fun with it. It's really good to experiment, especially given like you don't get as much class flexibility as a freshman.
Thanks. That's very helpful. You guys, Cooper, Mir? Okay.
Sorry, I had lost my Zoom screen and my mute button. I was trying to look for the unmute button. Yeah, I think clubs are a very good way to, I think, expose yourself to different ideas that you might not have been exposed to within your classes. Classes are generally very focused and they follow a curriculum, and within different clubs, you can explore very broad sectors of a certain discipline. In a math class, you might be asked to follow a certain curriculum and learn in Algebra 2 about how absolute value functions work and how to calculate so how to find the number of intersections between a certain system of equations. But at Math Club, you might learn some very interesting ways of how you can apply numbers to different scenarios. That's just one example. In a biology club, you might learn from guest speakers who talk to you about different DNA sequencing techniques, while in actual biology class, you're learning about the evolution of birds to what they are today. So I think clubs are a very good way to broaden your interests and learn more about a field that you might not be exposed to within the classroom.
That's great, actually. The idea of it enhancing your classroom understanding is, I hadn't heard that before, so that's good to know. Cooper, did you want to add anything, or is that good?
Yeah, I guess just piggybacking off of what Josh said, I feel like at least for me, the main benefit of being involved in clubs, just meeting like-minded people. I think it really helps you like grow as a person. If you are in a circle of people who share interests and are equally as ambitious as you.
That sounds really good.
Cassie, we just have
Yes,
a couple of minutes left.
Yes,
Should we do
exactly.
one last question?
Yeah, actually, I don't know, Gary. I was thinking this question to me sounded like it could be very relevant to all the parents on this call, which parent asked, how much did your parents help you in the 4 years? Like, how involved, I guess, were your parents in all the 4 years of high school? Oh, well, I guess we
Yes.
answered this in the chat. So if you guys are reading the chat, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that, I mean, obviously parents are like the backbone of your home life, right? So an involved parent and a passionate parent makes an involved and passionate student. Um, I took a lot of learnings from my parents, and I'm really like proud of the work that they put in to get me to where I am. I really couldn't have done it without them.
That's lovely. We have a parent right down there in case you guys didn't realize. That's sweet. Cooper and Mihir. Well, Mihir said it in the chat. If you want, you don't have to repeat it. But
I can touch on that a little bit.
okay.
I mean, I completely agree with what Yash said. I think, for the first 3 years, as long as I couldn't drive, my drive to school was very hectic. So like most importantly, they were able to take me to and from school, which I think is important. Attendance is definitely important. But I think my parents were very helpful in making sure that they could support my interests and what I wanted to do. Even though what interested me at certain times, which bounced from time to time, was not what they do as a profession. They had friends who were interested in, who were into certain fields, and they were able to connect me with people who I could talk to, just have conversations with, or even perhaps shadow over the summer for a week, and give me exposure that I would not have been able to get unless I asked them. I think you should encourage your kids to let them know if they need help with anything, because you as parents, they're gonna always help us. My parents definitely helped me whenever I asked for help. So be encouraging, and I'd say make sure you are a part of their very tight-knit support system.
Thank you. Just a quick add-on to what you guys all said, because I know this is another thing that happens with the parents is, would you say that it's good for the parents to encourage their students to do some of the stuff on their own, like reaching out to teachers or solving a problem that comes up in class? Do you think that that's a good advice to give to the parents? Because I know a lot of them are having a hard time letting go of their involvement in that way during middle school.
Yeah, I think that it's important to be independent. I mean, right now, my mom is not here. My dad is also not here. And so I have to communicate with my professors. I have to deal with everything on my own, basically, right?
Yeah.
High school is kind of like the prep ground for college, gives you an idea of what you're doing. And then by the time you're a senior, you should be ready to start adulting, right? And so it's really important, as your kid gets older and older. I'm not a parent, so this is not like prescriptive advice or anything, but let them do things and like let them fail on their own. I think some of like the best and like most teachable and learning experiences that I've had have been when I just didn't do something right. I just mess it up completely. And my parents let me do that. And honestly, I'm really grateful for that because the independence to mess it up the first time and then learn from that and really have that like ingrained understanding of I need to do this better next time. I need to submit this assignment on time next time.
Yeah.
It's my
Yes.
responsibility, right? It's not mom is gonna text the teacher and she's gonna fix it. It's I messed up. Now I don't get the grade I want in my class, right? It like
Right.
really it teaches you some responsibility, and I'm really grateful for that.
Thank you. And I do think that we're all finding that to be the case, especially with Carnegie, with the teachers that are so easy to access. I want to thank all three of you so much for giving us your time, and not only that, making yourselves available through this summit mentoring program. I want to tell the parents that that link is in the chat for the Google form. And just because we have a problem with, not a problem, but we're running out of time, two things. One is freshman class representative who is on this call, Elon, introduce himself at the beginning of the call. If you have any other questions, he would be probably a great person to reach out to. Elon, if I'm not mistaken, and putting you out there. And Elon, maybe if you wouldn't mind putting, what's the best way for them to reach out to you, for the parents, if they have any other questions that they didn't get to during the meeting. Also, the other thing I wanted to tell you guys is we have a YouTube channel. It's the CVHS PTO YouTube channel. And if you guys go on there, we have a lot of the videos from these conversations that we have, and anything that you might have missed, any college preparation thing you might have missed, or any of these videos. So if you would go to YouTube and find the Carnegie Vanguard High School PTO channel and subscribe to it, it's a great way for you guys to keep, if you missed something, to watch the videos. We post things on there. I highly suggest, besides all the other social media, because we're on everything, Facebook, Instagram, all of it. Gary,
Yes.
did you want to add anything?
Yeah, I just put the link for the YouTube channel.
Thank you.
In the chat, so definitely get it from there. I also attached the PDF for these three young men. Thank you so much, you guys, for taking time out of college and all of the studying I'm sure you're doing, and maybe the partying. But we do appreciate you coming over here and talking to us and giving us some really great advice. For anybody that found us through WhatsApp, I want to make sure that you guys also sign up for the PTO. So cvhspto.org, that's our website. Make sure you have an account with us so we can continue to inform you of any additional events that are coming up. And I do believe the three of you are coming back to talk to upperclassmen next week. So that's September 18th. And there's a college readiness call on September 18th. And these three folks will be back again. So if you think of more questions between now and then, they will be coming back to talk about really more geared towards juniors and seniors, and how to prepare for the application and that type of stuff. So you can catch them on there as well. If you do have additional questions, send them to Elon. Elon, I don't know if you were talking or not, but if you want to come off mute and say a few words, you're welcome. Or if you want to put your email in the chat, you can do that, or you can make sure to announce yourself on the WhatsApp channel. And that way parents know who you are. And so Elon's the freshman parent. He's kind of the person to go to for, I have a question and I need someone to talk to. He already has another child also at Carnegie. And so he's been here a couple of years and can certainly give us some advice on that. Okay, anyone with any last minute questions? I know we've kept you a couple minutes over your time. We appreciate all of it, but definitely reach out to us if you have questions. Thank you very much, you guys. Have a great evening.
Thank you
And if
so
you all had any
much.
questions for us in between that time, feel free to send us an email. We're pretty responsive, and we'd love to help you.
Where is that email is?
I will send it in the chat right now.
All right.
And then it's also on that PDF that
Oh, okay, that's cool.
CVHS PTO sent.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for
Thank
joining.
you, everybody. See you soon.